Hi, everybody. I'm here with a video for you for our week 4 assignments. So I'll share my screen and talk a little bit about what you're expected to do in both the discussion boards and the reports for this week. Just a little bit of information, the background here. I took this picture. This is the front door of my church in Bloomington. My old church. I actually haven't been a member there for 22 years. Because when I went to seminary, which is what my shirt is here, I formally left that church, and of course I've been chaplain at another place since the year 1999. So officially I'm not part of the church anymore, but it still is the last church I was a member of, and it has great affinity for me in different ways. Quite frequently, if you're in Bloomington during the evening and nighttime hours, you'll find one of the food trucks right out in front of this door here. So sometimes I will sit in the little benches out in front of the church and eat my doner kebab or other things that are on offer there. So if you're ever downtown Bloomington and you see this quaint little church that you think, oh, that would be so nice to get married in, we had lots of walk-in traffic when I was there. I was there for almost 10 years, and I was treasurer there and various other things there. So it was an interesting experience, and I thought I would share this picture with you as a good backdrop here. But let me get on to the real purpose of what we're doing here, and I'll share my screen. There we go. We've got this screen here. Your discussion for that for this week, it talks about letters to the churches, and we talked a little bit about that in our lecture. And essentially, what a lot of the pastoral letters are, and a lot of the letters from people such as Peter and John are talking about, is how do we live our lives as members of the church? And once again, that is partly why I picked this backdrop. We make mistakes. We fall short of what it is to be perfect. And different people had different ideas about what it meant to be part of the church. Do you start kicking people out if they're not perfect? Are ministers and pastors expected to be more perfect than others? There was actually quite a part of early Christian history that dealt with that, because when Christians were being persecuted, there were some people who refused even to the death to give up their Christian beliefs. There were other people who, when they were confronted in that way, sort of recanted, oh no, I'm not really Christian, I'm not really Christian. And then when the going was safe again, they said, well, I really was. And there were some people over there, it's like, yeah, but I remember what you said. And that became actually a controversy for more than a century over whether the people who recanted but then came back to Christianity should be allowed back in, and in particular, should they be allowed back in as leaders and pastors and ministers in charge of communities. So this is not a little thing, and we still have issues like this today. We have different scandals in churches. We have different kinds of issues that pop up every now and then in the media, where some big mega churches had issues with their minister or pastor. And we can even see that a little bit in the controversies with the current president, President Trump, because there are some people who point to his past and say, well, that's not living a Christian life. And then there are others who are talking about forgiveness and spiritual growth and other kinds of things like that. And I don't know which side you fall on, and I don't really want this to turn into a political discussion, but this is part of how we still live today. And it's not just with regard to Trump, as it is with a lot of different things. How do we live our lives knowing that all of us are going to be imperfect? So that's really what we're talking about in our unit for discussion. And you might look in some of the pastoral epistles and draw some examples from that as well. If we go back to the 4th week and we look at the unit report requirements here, here we're once again in the newspaper, or as it says, news vellum. Remember when we were talking about different ways we can do writing, we could do it on papyrus, which is paper, or you could do it on vellum, or other kinds of hides that are much more sturdy. So of course the Romans, being richer, they're going to be using vellum rather than papyrus here. And one of the things that this is looking for is, what are the letters talking about when they're talking about Jesus? And what are the letters talking about when they're talking about what we should be as Christians? So you can look through these different letters that we have here. It includes all of the letters that are in there essentially. So the one letter that I see missing in all of this is actually Romans. So I would say stay away from Romans when you're looking at things here, but look at these different things. I think the reason why they don't have the book of Romans listed here is because you're writing to people in Rome. So that's already been done in that book. So what you're going to want to do is these different letters here. And one of the things you can do also to get your biblical passages, if you don't want to have to type them up yourself, you can use Bible Gateway. There's this nifty keen link here, and I've introduced that to you before, but you can just click on this link and it will take you, oh, hey, error not found here. Okay, I see what's happening here. When you get this error not found, it's because it's giving you a bad link up there. Just take off that portion there and it'll take you to Bible Gateway. So, and don't worry about the $3.99 a month. For the Bible stuff, it's all free. You don't need the commentaries for what you're doing here. And hey, they put some ads there. I didn't see that before. So you can get to Bible Gateway that way. So I would say, have at it. And I will see you in the next video.